Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at the prepaid LTE home Wi-Fi from Smart. They sent this over to me for review and I spent a lot of time testing this, around 5 or 6 hours last night and around 5 or 6 hours today, going around Metro Manila, trying it in different locations and just trying to get an idea of how well it works, the pros, the cons and everything like that. So let's start with the most basic question. What is it? Well, it's a prepaid internet connection for your home. You plug it into the wall like this, connect using your cell phone, your tablet or your laptop, and that's it. You have internet. You buy it for a one-off price of 1,995 pesos. There's no monthly fee. You don't have to submit an ID or anything like that. You can just buy it either online or in a smart store, walk away, and that's it. You get 10 gigabytes of data to use in the first 7 days. After that, you can just reload it the same as you would your cell phone. So you only pay when you want to use it. Now, for really heavy internet users, this is not for you. If you like to download movies and stuff like that, this is not for you. For those people, I recommend you get a DSL or fiber connection. This is really aimed at a certain set of people. For example, those who can't get DSL or fiber because of their area. For instance, it's just not offered in their area, or because of limitations for the building. For whatever reason, they're not allowed to get a physical line installed. This is perfect for that because all you have to do is plug it into your power socket and that's it. There's nothing else to do. You don't have to erect an antenna outside. You don't have to run any cables. Just plug it in and that's it. You can start surfing. Aside from availability of those fixed line internet connections, this is also useful for those who simply don't want to enter a contract, because when you get a DSL or fiber line, you might be signed into a contract for 1 year, 2 years, or even 3 years. A lot of people don't want to tie themselves into a long contract like that. So again, prepaid, you don't have to worry about it. Just add money when you want to use it. If you don't want to use it, just unplug it. Simple as that. Another example use might be if you're running an Airbnb. You might only have guests there occasionally, so why would you want to spend 2,000 or 3,000 pesos a month on a fixed line internet when you could just put one of these here, and then whenever you have a guest, add data onto this? Now, of course, the first question is going to be, well, how much does it cost to add extra data? Well, they do give you some idea of the different plans available, and hopefully the camera will focus and you can just pause the video and read that. But to give you an example, you could go for a SurfMax 250. That's 250 pesos and that gives you 7 days of internet. Now, there is a daily cap of 800 megabytes. And like I said at the beginning, if you're a heavy downloader, you're downloading movies, you're downloading games, this is not for you. But if you're just an average user, you watch a few YouTube videos, browse the internet, you send chat messages, stuff like that, then this is going to be fine for you. So I think that's a reasonable explanation of what it is and who it's for. Let's talk about the hardware itself. Like I said, it comes with this power supply here. This is just a 12 volt 1 amp power supply, plugs into a regular AC socket, and then that plugs into the router itself, the LTE Wi-Fi router. On the side, it actually has an Ethernet port, and they do include a cable. So that's ideal if you have a desktop computer that you want to connect this to, or for the techie people out there, you can put this into bridge mode and then connect an external router. Aside from the Ethernet port, you also have an on-off switch and a reset button, but other than that, there's really nothing else to look at. On the bottom is where the SIM goes. Now, it comes with the SIM already installed, but you can put any Smart or Smartbro postpaid or prepaid SIM into this. I've already tested that, so you can swap the SIM card if you want. I'm not exactly sure why you'd want to, but you can do it. Now, of course, it is locked to Smart because that's how they're able to sell it for the price of just 1,995. They lock it to their network. The idea being that over time, you'll spend money on this, and that will cover the subsidy that they put into selling this for 1,995. That's how it works. Now, one of the big selling points for this unit is it has support for 700 megahertz LTE. Why does that matter, or what does it mean? Well, the lower the frequency, the further the signal can travel and the better it penetrates buildings. So if you're really far from a cell tower, this is especially important for those in the provinces or the countryside. If you're very far from the cell tower, or you've got so many buildings blocking the signal, 700 megahertz can really make a huge difference. So that is one of the big selling points of this unit, is it already has support for 700 megahertz LTE. I've tested it, it does work, it carries that frequency or goes on that band without any issues. Now, at this point you might be thinking to yourself, that sounds a lot like a pocket Wi-Fi, except that the home Wi-Fi has to be plugged into the wall and the pocket Wi-Fi has a built-in battery, making it portable. And you would be right, they both work essentially in the same way. They connect to the mobile cell tower, they use LTE internet, and they broadcast a Wi-Fi network that all your gadgets can connect to. So essentially, yes, they are the same thing. So if they're essentially the same, Why don't I just buy the pocket Wi-Fi? I can take it to the office, to the beach, I can use it at home. It seems like it's a lot more portable and versatile than this unit that has to be plugged into the wall. Why would I want to have this unit? Well, if you've ever used a pocket Wi-Fi for a long amount of time, you know that there are some issues that you can run into, especially when you start doing heavy usage. The battery inside will drain down, so you'll connect the charger. The problem is when you're charging it, it gets hot, and when you're putting a lot of data through it, it gets even hotter, and you start to have stability issues. It crashes, or it can't connect, or it just won't charge. You can really run into a lot of issues if you try and charge this and use it at the same time, especially heavy usage. Well, this is designed to be plugged into the wall all the time, so you don't have to worry about it overheating or the battery getting damaged by the heat, because of course there's no battery in this. It's going to be more stable as a permanent home connection compared to trying to use this as a permanent home connection. The other difference is this can handle up to 10 Wi-Fi users at the same time. Now, I can't remember what the claim is for this pocket Wi-Fi. I think it's up to 5 users, but even still, if you compare the circuitry between these two, this is really designed to handle more traffic and more people. So there is a difference between these. Now, when it comes to LTE speed, or the internet speed, I saw pretty much identical results between this pocket Wi-Fi from Smart and this home Wi-Fi from Smart. And the reason is they both use similar frequencies. Yes, the one from Smart can do 700 megahertz, but this one can do 800 megahertz. So there's not too much difference between them. The other thing is that here in Metro Manila, there are so many towers. Like, you could throw a stone and hit a cell tower pretty much anywhere you are in Metro Manila. So where you're going to see a bigger benefit of those outside of Metro Manila, that's where you're really going to feel the benefit of the 700 megahertz. For me here, didn't see too much difference between these two in terms of internet speed or LTE speed. For anyone who's curious about what kind of speed you can expect with this, well, this is a speed test that I did last night. This was at 4 AM, so it is off peak, which means there's not many people connected, and that's when you're going to get the best speed. So this is really like best case scenario. So you can see I got around 35 meg down and around 14 meg up, pretty respectable speeds. So this can handle high speed LTE, but then so can my pocket Wi-Fi. Now, when I made my unboxing video, a lot of people asked, can you power this from a power bank to make it portable? And the answer is yes, no, it's complicated. It is possible, but there are certain nuances with it, so it really has to be a separate video. So stay tuned, I will make a separate video about it. It is possible, you have to go DIY route. It's not possible with what they provide you, but yes, technically you can make this a portable unit with a little bit of effort. Now, I apologize that this whole video is pretty much just me talking, but there's not too much to show because it's basically the same as a pocket Wi-Fi, except it's going to be more stable as a permanent always-on internet connection. A pocket Wi-Fi is good for on-off, moving around loads of different locations, but it's not very good as an always-on home internet connection. It's just not as stable, it can't handle as many people, and it can overheat. So that's really the prime selling point of these home Wi-Fi units, and also the fact that it has 700 megahertz support built in. But saying that, let's at least do a speed test, so I've got something to show you using this box. So I've connected my cell phone to the home Wi-Fi, and let's see what kind of speeds I get. Okay, so we got 7 meg down, 5 meg up. Now bear in mind, this is 7:30 PM on a Saturday, which means, you know, everyone's going around the streets, they're going to bars, they're going to restaurants, they're going to visit family. Everyone's using their cell phones, and the cell towers are super busy. So if you do a speed test at say 11 PM, midnight, 1 AM, you're going to get much higher speeds. Again, this depends on your area. It will make a big difference, but that's still a pretty reasonable speed. And what I'll also do is cut in some footage of speed tests I performed earlier in a mall. Now, I went to an Ayala mall because they don't have any smart cell phone repeaters inside, which means you're very reliant on the 700 megahertz signal to penetrate through all the buildings and the walls and everything like that. So I thought it'd be a really good test to show the power of 700 megahertz to the lower frequency. Now, if you're very near to a cell tower, most likely your device won't use 700 megahertz because while it can travel further and it can penetrate buildings better, it can't carry as much data. So the higher frequencies are actually faster internet, but they can't travel as far and they can't go through buildings as easily. So if you're actually near a cell tower, you won't even see any benefit of the 700 megahertz. But if you're further away or you're blocked by many buildings, that's when you're going to see the benefit. So I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section down below. I feel like I've covered most of what we could talk about, but I'm sure I've missed something, so feel free to ask any questions down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.